pure survival, having to and wanting to so badly that I was unwilling to give up till I found an answer. The first thing that comes to mind that I can remember, this happened multiple times throughout my life. So I grew up in a bad place and, had a limited mindset, didn't have any understanding of self or growth, or nobody that I knew of had it as well. But when I was in college and I was an elite athlete, I played for Central Michigan University. It was a team that year that we were ranked 23rd in the nation. Antonio Brown was on our team, who, many people know Antonio Brown. Dan Lefevre, who was being compared to Tim Tebow at the time. So we had a lot of national exposure. And I was like one of those guys that had NFL, and I got hurt. I was trying to impress the upperclassmen with how much I could squat. I was a true freshman. I played my freshman year, and I was trying to show everybody why I was the stuff and I was going to be the next best thing, because I believed that as my potential. Okay. But I'm going to squat one day, and I ended up putting too much weight on my back, and I kind of came up weird, and I knew something was wrong. I basically ended up rupturing a disc in my back, and I went like that for months, and I had to have this surgery, a double laminectomy, where it was highly recommended that I don't even attempt to not only play high contact sports, in this case football, but my medical diagnosis after my surgery, because they wanted to put a rod in my back. And I didn't want a rod in my, because I heard bad stories about that. And so I was like, I'm not doing that. I don't know the best doctor in the world yet. So I'm not doing that to my back. I got decent insurance, but I'm not doing that to my back. And so I made the decision to just get a smaller surgery, which was a double laminectomy, where they just shave off a part of the disc that is pinching the nerve. And they kind of move a little bit of your ligaments around to make sure you're aligned as much as possible. And so I went with that surgery, even though they said that it wasn't going to completely set me up for success because of my injury. And my medical diagnosis after I left that surgery was that I was not supposed to do any type of physical exertion at all, except for maybe swimming for a limited amount of time, which I don't prefer to swim, or I could slow walk like X amount. And this wasn't like a rehab diagnosis. This was like, this is kind of going to be this way for like 3 years until your disc fuse. And then you can have less of your disc banging against one another. And you can just, start to do some more things. You can start to jog and exercise and, hike or something, but get special soles or something. And I said, that is not what I feel is my purpose or destiny, is to play out this way. So you're talking about how I learned it. This is how I learned it, is that everything that I put my stake in was being stripped away from me. No one was willing to help me. The coaches did not want me to play because they would have been liable. If I would have went on that field and got hit, I could have easily died. So in order for me to be able to play, I had to sign a liability waiver that says, hey, if I get injured or die on the field, you're not liable, Central Michigan University. And I begged for that opportunity because I believe so deeply that I had so much to prove. I still wanted it so badly. And so I started to say, how do I make it happen? And then I started to go through this routine. I'm like, hey, first of all, I cannot have this injury and feel weak. I can't. If I have this injury and I feel weak, I'm going to step on that field and I'm going to be weak. So I can't be weak. So what's the music of strength? What do I think of when I think strength? I think of epic music. No. I'm about ready to break my laptop right now. Yeah. So I started to build myself up, and then I'm like, what else? And I'm like, every time this injury tries to tell me it's stronger than me, and I sneeze and I fall to the ground because my muscles and my ligaments are so jacked up that I'm falling straight to the ground. Every time I try to do like a back exercise and I cave in, or I can't, I'm going to willpower myself with my mind to embody strength. Okay. So I'm sorry, abs, but we not resting today, because the moment my abs rested, I felt the pain in my back because it wasn't strong enough yet. So I would literally walk all day around campus with my abs tight, just like this. And I'm walking and they're tight, and I'm walking and they're tight and I'm walking. And when I sit, I have to keep them tight, turn in the car sideways, sit down on the car sideways, right? Swing my legs into the car this way so that I never get my back out of the position that it needs to be healed. I'm doing all this with my mind. Meanwhile, I'm taking all types of painkillers to numb the pain until my body catches up with my mind and my spirit. And I'm starting to use all these tactics to do these things. And I'm reading books about rehabilitation and manifesting and mindset and motivate. And I'm just searching for, how do I get what I want? That's how I learned survival.